Hi, and thank you so much for downloading a 4th Street Creative template. This is the video walkthrough for the Rosedale Tabloid Property Brochure, and when you get the thank you document with the link, it will direct you to a page that looks like this, and you just simply hit Use Template, and it will bring it into your own Canva account, and you can start designing. Once it's loaded, the first step is to go over to File and make a copy, and the reason why you're going to want to do that is because if you take a few left turns, or you don't like the direction that you're headed with design, or you've made a few too many mistakes and you just want to start from scratch, you will have the master file directly in your homepage of Canva, and you don't have to go through the entire download process again through Etsy if you want to start from scratch. So always make a copy, and that will ensure that you have backup in place. And once you've done that, you're ready to start designing. So you're going to head over to Uploads, upload an image or video, and this is where you're going to upload all of your own listing photos into Canva. And once they're uploaded, it will look like this in your Canva account. And you just want to start one by one, flipping out the images, and you do that by grabbing the image from your Canva account and dropping it into the image box. If it's locked, it will do this. It won't pop into place. So you want to make sure that if it's not popping into place, you look for this little lock icon, head over to the top and unlock it, and then simply choose the photos that you'd like to put into that spot, and it'll pop directly into place. Okay. The next step, you can do that with all these image boxes. The next step is to change your text. So to do that, you would double click your text box and highlight all your text. 1, 2, 3, your property. And if this is not the font that you regularly use, or you have your own brand fonts, then you can head over here to the font box and change your font to your own brand fonts, and of course change the color to your own brand colors. So anything in this document can be changed. You just simply make sure that the box is highlighted, and then you head over to the color icon up here, and it can be changed to anything, either your brand colors, or what's really neat that you can do is actually match it to the color of your listing, which really makes your listing pop. So if you have a lot of blues in your listing like this one, you might just want to keep it blue. But if you have a house that's been staged and there's a lot of pinks and grays, then you might want to do something like that. And what that will do is make the rooms pop. The pictures will pop and make the listing look that much better. So I like to do page by page here. So I'm going to stick with this first one, even though this is the back page. So what we've done on the back page is provide a little bit about the area. If you don't want to highlight the area, this would be a great place to highlight the backyard or just additional information about the property itself. So of course you do the same thing here, and you would change the text to suit your needs. One thing to notice about this particular template is that there's an overlay box just to make sure that it brings some cohesiveness to the design, meaning we wanted this element, we wanted a slightly blue filter on this particular picture to tie everything together in the document. So of course, I would just drag this to the side, change the photo to your own photo that you'd like to use, let's say the back of the house. I don't know if that's not working. Okay, wait for it to pop into place, and then drag the overlay over. Now if you're using a different color, you can always make it pink like that, and then that will just make all these elements come together a little bit better. So that works really well actually with her shirt. That was an accident. But yes, you would want to highlight location 1, location 2, location 3, and what I like to tell my clients is to just the three main attractions of the area. So either whether they're parks or schools or restaurants or coffee houses, it's great to ask your clients what their favorite parts about the area are, and then just highlight them on the property brochure. Now onto the second page, of course I would do the same on the second page, change all of these to match the colors. You can change this tagline to suit your needs. There's also an overlay box here, so you're going to want to drag that down to access the photo behind it, make sure it's highlighted, and then change it to your own photo. Now, when I've popped this into place, it's not the orientation that I'd like to see, so I'm going to double click on the image box and drag it down And by double clicking, I can move it around within the image box. When you're satisfied, you just release the click and bring this overlay back over. I'm going to change the color of it. And it's really that simple. You do the same with all of these images. You just pop your own images into place, and if you need to change the orientation, double click on the box and move things around like so. We've provided these little just extra wording for each room, just to add a little bit more information about the room, like the best part about that room. If you don't need these, you can simply highlight them and click delete on your keyboard, and then that just shows more of the room itself. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to leave as is. Now, because we've changed this to pink, you're going to want to change these boxes as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to move the writing, the font box out of the way, highlight the box itself, head over to the colors, and change them like so. And then move your font box on top of it again, like so. And you do the same for all of these. This is the area where we have put the home description. If you have more details than you do home description, no problem. Let's say you just have a short home description and you want to put a ton of details. You make sure your property box is the size that you want it to be. Then you take the details, you take the decorative line. I've done that by selecting my details box, hitting Shift on my keyboard, and then selecting this line as well. By doing so, it creates a group, and I can move them both as one object. So I'm going to move it up here, move this up here, and then you can just keep adding your points if you'd like. One thing to note about this as well is that this does get cut off during print. It is stylistic. If you don't want it to be cut off, then you can bring it down to about here. Okay, so I'm going to show you again what that's going to look like. So when it prints stylistically, okay, just so it's not taking up. Okay. So we've done it like this. Okay, now the edges that you see here are where the printer is going to cut. I'm going to show you. The dotted line is where your flyer is going to be cut. So you want to make sure that these boxes are brought right to the edge line. Okay, so as you can see, part of this is going to be cut off. That's exactly how I want it to look, because I want it to be, it's completely stylistic and it's a personal preference. And if you want Rosedale, if you want the area or the name that you're putting here to show up, make sure that it's well within the crop lines. Okay, so this is too close to the crop lines right now. So we're going to have to make this about 64 to make sure that it fits. Okay, and that's what you would do if you want it to not be cut off at all. For me, I do want it to be cut off because I like that look a little bit. Okay, of course, you're going to want to change this box to pink. And I actually like the mix of pink and blue. I'm really liking it. So if you want to do a mix of the two, that would be great too. One thing to note are these overlays. So you've been provided these overlays in your file folder. And they look like this. They're going to be a white line here. And in order to use them, if you want to add more of them, let's say, or you want to use them in a different capacity, you click once, it'll bring it into your document, it'll bring it in this orientation, and you simply rotate until it's at a 90 degrees, and you can use it however you'd like. Okay. Once you're satisfied with the way that all your photos look and you've finished with changing all the information to your own listing information, the next step would be to go to File and Show Print Bleed. Once you're shown the print bleed, you will see the dotted line of where the printer is going to cut your document, and you want to make sure that all the photos bleed past that line. And the reason why you do that is because if they don't, your printer might cut here and there'll be a white line next to your document. which just looks a little bit unprofessional. So you want to make sure that all of the boxes leak out past the dotted line to the bleed edge. Okay, and the same with this. As we can see here, the overlay isn't extending far enough, so we want to make sure it's extended far enough. And are all of these good? Everything looks good. So we're ready to print. So how do we print? This button up here. And we definitely don't want it to be a PNG file. What we do want is for it to be a PDF print, high quality print file. And so we're going to hit that. And if you're going to be printing this off at home, then you're good to go. Just put PDF print, download, and then print the document from your home printer. If you are going to print with a professional printer, you definitely want to hit crop marks and bleed, and then you're ready to download. Once it's downloaded, open the file once to double check that the crop marks are correct. And when it opens up, it'll open up like this, and you will be able to see the crop marks. So just take a close look and make sure that no writing or important information is being cut off by the crop marks. Okay, and if everything is how you like it, this is perfect, okay, then you can send this file off to your printer and it's good to go. One more thing to note is that you have received optional icons with this property brochure. You're going to locate them in your documents folder. You're going to upload them into Canva and it'll look exactly like this. You simply click once and it'll bring it into your document. Then you grab it by the edge, by the corner, and resize it to whichever size you'd like. And as you can see, I didn't lock my photo, so it's trying to bump it out. So I'm going to make sure that this photo box is highlighted, lock it, bring this icon back in, and probably do something over here. Okay. Now you've been provided one color with this template. So in order to change these colors, you need to bring them into a program like Illustrator or Photoshop. Okay, so I'm just for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to bring two in, the bedrooms and the bath. And once I'm happy with where these documents are, where these icons are sitting, I'm going to hit T, text, as in text, on my keyboard, and it'll bring up a text box. Okay, and then I'm going to put, let's say there's 2 bedrooms. Change that to white so it matches. And then I'm going to head up here to duplicate so it's the same size and everything. And there's 2 bathrooms as well. Okay, let's make sure that's in the middle. Now this photo that I've brought in, I'm not really digging how I can see how these are showing up. So what I am going to do is, first of all, delete that. Okay, what I'm going to do is take this box, duplicate it, bring it up here, and make sure that that's behind my icons. Okay, and position, backward, 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 position, backward, until these are revealed. I'm also drag these over here. Okay, and once you're happy with that, you can just go ahead and do the same process. It's just making sure that this is selected, PDF print. No, you don't select this if you want to print it at home, and if you are using a professional printer, make sure that they have the crop marks and bleed so they know exactly where to cut. And then you download, you send that file to the printer, and you are good to go. I hope you enjoyed this video walkthrough, and if you have any more questions or need any more help, please feel free to head over to fourthstreetcreative.com/tutorials for our full list of resources, articles, and video walkthroughs. Happy designing!